Right guys, in today's video I'll be comparing the performance difference between when you just install a stock standard Nvidia driver versus the performance difference when you install an Nvidia driver with Geforce Experience. So just full disclosure, I do use Geforce Experience myself, not because I like the app, not because I find it convenient, but for the simple fact that when I do my split screen comparisons, when I record gameplay, Geforce Experience is pretty good at delivering a lossless FPS environment. So you might lose a couple of FPS here and there, whereas if you use OBS, you're going to be losing anywhere between 5 to 10 FPS. So Geforce Experience, I use it for that reason. So before I get to my results, what I'm going to ask you to do is just head on over to my homepage or my YouTube page. If you are subscribed to the channel, please just make sure that the little notification icon is selected, so that when I do release a new video, you are notified. It really will help me with the algorithm. And then for those of you that aren't subscribed, please, if you find this video helpful, I don't know about entertaining, but if you find this type of content helpful, please consider subscribing and then naturally selecting that notification icon. And then for those subscribers of mine that do find my content helpful and also want to help a boy out and give a bit of support, please consider joining my YouTube members page. You get a custom emojis as well as personalized members videos on a monthly basis. Other than that, so how would you install an Nvidia driver without Geforce Experience? I'll put a link to this page in the description of the video. You can just go ahead and download it straight from the Nvidia Drivers page. And the thing is, you got a lot more control when you're installing a driver without Geforce Experience. Because Geforce Experience obviously has got automatic updates, and it's got whisper mode, it's got a whole bunch of extra junk that you don't need on your driver. So let's just get to those results. So all my games are tested at medium settings, except for the newer titles. They do tend to be quite heavier. 2023 has been quite a 2023 is still manageable on a GTX 1650. I don't know about 2024 though. But for the newer titles such as Ratchet & Clank, I play on the low settings preset. Remnant, play on the low settings preset. Dead Space Remake, I play on a modified low settings preset. Resident Evil 4 Remake, it's quite a light game, so I play on a mixture of medium, high and low. And then Dead Island 2 is on medium. Returnal, I play on the low settings preset with FSR set to balanced, because that's quite a heavy game as well. And then where FSR 2.0 or 2.1 is available, for all the other games that I didn't say I use balanced, I use a quality setting. Guys, I have downloaded some online games. However, it's very difficult to benchmark online games, so I haven't quite figured out how to do that just as of yet. So all the games I tested here are single player offline games, the games I incidentally enjoy. And then lastly, I am using a GTX 1650 laptop to do my benchmarks. I've never used an RTX laptop or RTX card. I don't know what ray tracing looks like. So just bear in mind, if you're on an RTX card, your results may vary. In fact, I know that they will vary because RTX is a different technology to GTX. So if you got an RTX 3060 and up, my results may vary quite a bit with what you might find. And then lastly, I used the latest Nvidia driver 536.67 to do my test. So for Geforce Experience on the latest driver, I added up all the average FPSs of the 15 games, and that gives me a total FPS over 15 games of 1067 divided by 15, so my average FPS per game is 71.13. Do the same thing for the 1% lows, and then over 15 games, my average 1% lows are 753 divided by 15, so my average 1% low per game is 50.2 with Geforce Experience. So when I divide the 1% lows by the average FPS, it gives me a stability for this driver of 70.57% over 15 games, which I must say, this is not the best driver, but it's not a terrible driver, especially on GTX platforms. Then when I delete Geforce Experience and I reinstall the driver without Geforce Experience, I add up all the average FPSs, and my total FPS over 15 games is 1074 So you can see it's a little bit higher. So when I divide by 15, my average FPS per game is 71.6 FPS. So you can see it's gone up quite a bit, or about 0.5%. And then I do the same thing for the 1% lows, add up all the 1% lows, and then over 15 games, my total 1% lows are 761. So you can see there's an incremental increase there as well. And then when I divide the 761 by 15, my average 1% lows for this driver without Geforce Experience is 50.73. So then when I divide the 1% lows by the average FPS, it gives me a stability without Geforce Experience over 15 games of 70.85%. So guys, what you can see is Geforce Experience, it doesn't rob you of a lot of performance, but it does steal a little bit of performance. So if you're not using Geforce Experience to record your gameplay or for any other specific reason, I actually recommend you delete Geforce Experience and then reinstall the driver, but without Geforce Experience, because it's not a lot, but you do get a little bit of extra performance. So guys, yeah, that's pretty much today's video. If you want my honest advice, don't use Geforce Experience. If you're recording gameplay, use Geforce Experience. But for any other reason, just to update your drivers, you can, every time I release a video and you see it's a good driver, you can just go manually and download a driver. You don't use Geforce Experience to update your drivers, because what you find is Geforce Experience will automatically update your drivers, and then you find that all your settings have been reset to the default values, and all of a sudden you're getting less performance. So unless you're using it for recording, I don't really recommend Geforce Experience. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section. And if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed as of yet, now's the time to do so. Guys, it's people like you. Enjoy the rest of your day.